وهو ما أكدته استراتيجية الأمم المتحدة العالمية لمكافحة الإرهاب. ونؤكد أن الإرهاب لن يزول ما لم نحارب الفكر التكفيري الذي يقوم عليه والذي يشكل قوة جاذبة لشد الشباب إليها. لذلك ومن الضروري منع منظري ومؤيدي ومروجي الفكر التكفيري من القيام بنشاطات في المؤسسات التعليمية والثقافية والدينية والإعلامية، والعمل في المقابل على إشاعة ونشر ثقافة التسامح وقبول رأي الآخر. وأود أن أعبر نيابة عن الشعب وحكومة العراق عن امتناننا
Россия последовательно поддерживает продвижение политического процесса в Ираке, полноправными участниками которого должны быть все политические и этноконфессиональные группы. Мы заинтересованы в едином и стабильном Ираке, активно вовлеченном в международные и региональные дела. О параметрах же внутреннего процесса должны договариваться сами иракцы, поскольку именно они отвечают за будущее своей страны. Навязывать готовые решения – бесперспективная задача.
Excellency, Mr. Frank Walter Steinmeier, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Germany.
Humanitarian aid is necessary, but it is not sufficient to stop the violence. That is why the German government decided to provide the Kurdish security forces with weapons, ammunition, equipment, as well as training. And of course, we are doing so in close coordination with the government in Baghdad. However, even humanitarian and military assistance will be futile if we lack a broader strategy against ISIL, a strategy which is embedding the necessary military means and tools in a political strategy.
It's now my pleasure to give the floor to His Excellency Mr. Mevlut Çavuşoğlu, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Turkey.
It is imperative to treat Syria and Iraq as a single theater of action for the success of our strategy. Ignoring Syria in the struggle wouldn't bring a lasting solution to the challenges we face today. The Syrian regime is the patron of extremism. Its policies based on sectarianism and ethnic divisions trigger further instability and a threat in the wider region. As long as the regime remains in Damascus, stability can neither be achieved in Syria nor in the region. The only way of achieving stability and security is through a political solution on the basis of the Geneva Declaration. Thus, a genuine political transition in Syria is a must.
My pleasure to offer the floor to His Excellency Mr. Sameh Shukri, and I want to thank
مما يمثل ذلك من تضاد صارخ مع مفهوم الدولة الحديثة لصالح أيديولوجيات متطرفة تختبئ وراء الشعارات الدينية كوسيلة لارتكاب انتهاكات وحشية ضد كل من هو مختلف. فالإرهاب المتأسلم لم يعد تنظيما أو 2 أو 10 تنظيمات، إنما هو فكرة واحدة تعبر عن نفسها من خلال أسماء وعناوين متعددة تظهر وتتوارى في مناطق مختلفة من العالم بحسب الاحتياج، فيما يشكل في نهاية المطاف منظومة واسعة.
Deputy Foreign Minister for International Legal Affairs of the Islamic Republic of Iran.
The Islamic Republic of Iran is the only country in the region that is both capable of and has shown unqualified determination to help the Iraqi government and coordinate with it to assist all those threatened by ISIL. We rose to the challenge early on and helped save Baghdad, Erbil, and Amirli from ISIL, and we were there with advisors and equipment before any other help arrived on the scene. On the same way, my government is ready to continue to assist the Iraqi government and other governments threatened by the ISIL.
Thank you, Mr. Blandov. He will.
Europe faces, with the United States, the prospect of foreign fighters bringing their distorted worldview and terrorist skills back to their native countries. The U.S., as the President has stated, will take active measures with coalition partners to prevent any scenario like that from playing out. U.S. European Command and nations in my AOR will play a significant role in these coalition and U.S. efforts to rid the world of this threat and the scourge of ISIL.
Quick follow-up to Courtney's question and then one on NATO. Can you give us a sense about the operational tempo for the Baltic Air Policing?
From a peak of well over 10 battalion task groups inside of Ukraine, I believe we're now down to elements of probably 4 battalion task groups inside Ukraine. The Russians have been removing forces to the east of the Ukrainian border back into Russia, but make no mistake, those forces are close enough to be quickly brought back to bear if required. They have not left the area that would allow them to be either a coercive force or a force used for actual combat if required.
known as ISIL. As part of the air campaign, France will join in strikes against ISIL targets in Iraq. And as one of our oldest and closest allies, France is a strong partner in our efforts against terrorism, and we're pleased that French and American service members will once again work together on behalf of our shared security and our shared values. More broadly, more than 40 countries, including Arab nations, have now offered assistance as part of this coalition. This includes support for Iraqi forces, strengthening the Iraqi government, providing humanitarian aid to Iraqi civilians, and doing their part in the fight against ISIL. Here at home, I'm pleased that Congress, a majority of Democrats and a majority of Republicans in both the House and the Senate, have now voted to support a key element of our strategy, our plan to train and equip the opposition in Syria so they can help push back these terrorists. As I said last week, I believe that we're strongest as a nation when the President and Congress work together, and I want to thank leaders in Congress for the speed and seriousness with which they approach this urgent issue, in keeping with the bipartisanship that is the hallmark of American foreign policy at its best. These Syrian opposition forces are fighting both the brutality of ISIL, terrorists, and the tyranny of the Assad regime. We had already ramped up our assistance, including military assistance, to the Syrian opposition. With this new effort, we'll provide training and equipment to help them grow stronger and take on ISIL terrorists inside Syria. This program will be hosted outside of Syria in partnership with Arab countries, and it will be matched by our increasing support for Iraqi government and Kurdish forces in Iraq. This is in keeping with a key principle of our strategy. The American forces that have been deployed to Iraq do not and will not have a combat mission. Their mission is to advise and assist our partners on the ground. As I told our troops yesterday, we can join with allies and partners to destroy ISIL without American troops fighting another ground war in the Middle East. The strong bipartisan support in Congress for this new training effort shows the world that Americans are united in confronting the threat from ISIL, which has slaughtered so many innocent civilians. With their barbaric murder of 2 Americans, these terrorists thought they could frighten us or intimidate us or cause us to shrink from the world, but today they're learning the same hard lesson of petty tyrants and terrorists who've gone before. As Americans, we do not give in to fear, and when you harm our citizens, when you threaten the United States, when you threaten our allies, it doesn't divide us, it unites us. We pull together, we stand together to defend this country that we love and to make sure justice is done, as well as to join with those who seek a better future of dignity and opportunity for all people. And today our strikes against these terrorists continue. We're taking out their terrorists. We're destroying their vehicles and equipment and stockpiles. And we salute our dedicated pilots and crews who are carrying out these missions with great courage and skill. As Commander-in-Chief, I could not be more proud of their service. As I told some of our troops yesterday, the American people are united in our support for them and for their families. And as we go forward as one nation, I'd ask all Americans to keep our forces and their families in their thoughts and prayers. Thanks very much.
And this is Manege Square. Quite often newlyweds on their wedding day come to Manege Square to have pictures taken before they have a party in the evening. Usually the registration of the wedding is in the morning, and then they drive around the city, have pictures taken in Red Square.
Она вся размечена. Лен, она вся, видишь, размечена. Чтобы когда взять не...
Подождите.